All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and finish up our lesson today on percent proportions. Today we're going to take a look at word problems. So yesterday we worked with the percent proportion is over of equals percent over 100. Today we're going to focus on part over whole equals percent over 100. It's going to be exactly the same kind of steps. We're looking for the part, the whole, and the percent. We're going to substitute them into the proportion and then cross multiply and divide. So our first problem is Bluebird Bakery sold 90 cupcakes in one day. If 70% of these cupcakes were sold in the afternoon, how many cupcakes were sold in the afternoon? As always, the first thing I like to look for is the percent, and we know that that's going to be 70. Now we also have the number 90 there that we need to decide if that's going to be the part or the whole. So we need to take a look at the context of the problem to decide where it's going to go. So the problem is telling us that Bluebird Bakery sold 90 cupcakes in one day. So that's all of the cupcakes that they sold total in one day. So that's going to be the whole. Which means part is going to be our variable. Now we also know that part's going to be our variable because our question is telling us how many cupcakes were sold in the afternoon. And the afternoon is just part of the day. So the part is what we're finding. So now we can go ahead and we can set up our proportion, making sure that we put 100 in the bottom right hand corner. Percent goes above the 100, and this time we're using part and whole. So our part is going to be X, and our whole is going to be 90. Now we can go ahead and we can cross multiply, and 100 times X is 100X. And 90 times 70 is 6,300. I'm going to divide by 100 on both sides. Those cancel out. And X equals 63. So our answer is 63 cupcakes. Problem number 2. Of the 80 movies Muhammad owns, 36 are action movies. What percent of the movies are action movies? So the first thing I notice is that there's no percent in this problem. I also know that it's asking what is the percent, so that's what we need to look for. Now we need to decide if the 80 movies or the 36 movies is the part or the whole. So we know that Muhammad owns 80 movies. That's all of the movies he owns, so that's going to be our whole. We also know that he has 36 action movies, and if he has 36 action movies, that's only part of his movie collection. There's also comedies and dramas and cartoons and so forth. So this time we're going to be looking for our percent. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my proportion, making sure to put 100 in the bottom right hand corner. And X is going to go above since the percent always goes above 100, and we're working with X as our percent. Part goes on the top, so that's going to be 36, and whole goes on the bottom, so that's going to be 80. Now we cross multiply, and 80 times X is 80X. And 36 times 100 is 3,600. Now I divide by 80 on both sides. That cancels out. And X equals, and once again, it's good to have a calculator out and ready to go for you. So plug this in, get 45. So our answer is 45% since we were looking for the percent. All right, last problem. Natalie has $20 in her purse, which is 40% of her total amount of money. How much money does Natalie have? So I noticed that percent right away, so I'm going to use 40 for percent. And I know that Natalie has $20 in her purse. That's not all of her money, it's just part of her money. So this time we're going to be looking for our whole. It also tells us to find the total amount of money, and total and whole go together. So this time I'm looking for whole. So I'm going to set up my proportion by putting 100 in the bottom right hand corner and 40 above it since that's my percent. Part goes on the top, which was 20, and whole goes on the bottom, which is my variable. Now I can go ahead and I can cross multiply, and 40 times X is 40X, and 20 times 100 is 2,000. This time we're going to be dividing by 40. So divide by 40 on both sides. Those 40s go away, and X equals 50. So our answer is $50. Make sure the money sign goes in front of the number instead of behind. Alright, so today you have another worksheet you do not need to do in Excel. It is only 6 problems, it's just like the ones that we just did, and it has the same setup, so you have that table with those boxes to fill in. Make sure today you are using part over whole equals percent over 100. As always, message me on Schoology if you need any help. Peace.